Good morning. Welcome to the Florence Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, where we strive to keep our doors open to anyone who wants to join us, virtually and soon in person. My name is Sally Wantz, and it's my pleasure to be your service leader. We start our program by offering our acknowledgement that we stand on the traditional land of the first people of the first people of Florence, which would be the Sayusla Indians. Nice slip of the tongue. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the members of the Sayusla Indians, past, present, and future. Blessings. We're going to start our service by singing Spirit of Life. It's recorded by Jeff Lovejoy. We're going to sing along, so enjoy. Spirit of Life. Sunday, June 13th, we're delighted to have Reverend Dr. Ruth Miller with us again. She will share her thoughts on playing safe or playing free as we continue to explore our monthly theme of play. So Juneteenth, also known as Emancipation Day, is fast approaching, and there will be a celebration on June 19th at the United Methodist Church honoring this day in history that marks the end of slavery in the U.S. and commemorates African American freedom. I'll be one of the featured speakers that day, and there'll be a picnic, etc. It should start around noonish, okay? Look for a little flyer in the e-blast. That's Juneteenth. And I trust you all received your Zoom invitation to today's business meeting. I think the official invitation went out just a couple of days ago, so check your email. There is a Zoom invite there for everybody to join us. And today's Zoom gathering at 5 p.m. will be hosted by me. So we can talk about anything you want to talk about. Perhaps you want to share your thoughts on today's business meeting, or share what you have done when you have danced as if no one was watching. The Zoom invite is included in today's e-blast. Check it out. Join us. All are welcome. Finally, we have our monthly board meeting on June 9th at 3:30. And you'll find the Zoom invite in Wednesday's e-blast. If you'd like to come and hear and see what we're up to, check us out. All are welcome. Are there any other announcements from anybody else? Did I miss something? Got it? Got it. Perfect. So I'm going to invite Reba to come forward as we light this chalice here. I invite you to light a flame at your home. And these words come from Joan Giannino. I've got an Italian over here who's telling me it's Giannino. So it's called Life's Sacred Dance. We light this chalice in honor of life's sacred dance of living and dying. May its flame remind us of those who have passed, to us fragments of holiness. May it remind us that we too are participants in the dance. Oh, lovely. I invite Catherine to come forward as we share our joys and concerns.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the part of our service where we share our joys and concerns. We share what keeps us connected. And we witness for each other all of the passages of our lives. No one has actually sent me anything, and my callers have not sent me anything, which is good in some ways. I'm happy to hear that. But I really want to remind everyone to reach out to everyone who's coming out of this past year, over a year. You know, there's those of us who act like, okay, I've got this. But that's a coping mechanism. There's those that are like kind of hiding in their house and saying, oh, I don't need anything. That's another coping mechanism. And what we need is real extension of ourselves for however people have related to this pandemic or gotten themselves through this pandemic. We all need each other now as we come out of this slowly and hopefully elegantly until we meet again. So let's please have let's have 3 shells just for the kind of different personalities and the way of coping. And
This one's gonna, oh, that's a color.
oh, good, okay, yeah. And Jay, I think you said you had something?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'll go behind. Also want to take care of this. That's been driving me crazy for a while. I have a little joy. It's about a neighbor. I think I've talked about her before here. He's 81 years old, and he's an immense source of inspiration for me. Let me take this off a little bit. He's an immense source of inspiration. I was over at his house, and he wanted, very carefully, he was asking me if I could go shopping for him, because he was running out of food. And he said he was on his way to the store. Now, mind you, he's 81 years old, got severe palsy, so he shakes and stuff. But he thought by the time he got his bicycle, pumped up, he wouldn't have enough energy to make it to the store, back to Fred Meyer and back. Which is amazing to me, because, you know, I question myself because I don't ride my bike to the store. But he, you know, he's slowly getting into that point where he's not able to do the things he's doing, and it's very difficult for him to ask for help. And I know we all kind of face that sort of situation, because a lot of us here are the folks who are the ones giving the help, right? And so when you're having to get to that point where you're having to ask for help, it's really difficult. And so, but it's a joy to be part of his life. I mean, I'm enjoying being his friend and his neighbor, and he's got more stories than we have time to talk about. So that's my joy today. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I drop a shell for that?
Yes, please drop the shell.
This is for your neighbor.
What is his name?
Yeah.
His name is Herb.
Hey, this is for you.
And I'll just end this with a reminder that there is no difference between any one of us, and we're all more alike than we are not alike. And love each other. Just love each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Blessed be.
Good morning. This is a reading from Madeline Langville from her book, A Wind in the Door, which was the book that she wrote after A Wrinkle in Time, if you're more familiar with that one. I name you all that would be nothing. I name you, each one of you. I name you all that are. I name you beloved. I name you known and knowing. I fill you with naming. Bee. Bee, butterfly and behemoth. Bee, galaxy and grasshopper. Star and sparrow. You matter. You are. Bee. Bee, caterpillar and comet. Bee, porcupine and planet. Sea, sand and solar system. Sing with us. Dance with us. Rejoice with us. For the glory of creation, seagulls and seraphim, angleworms and angel host, chrysanthemum and cherubim. Oh, cherubim. Be. Sing for the glory of the living and the loving, the flaming of creation. Sing with us. Dance with us. Be with us. Be.
Tuvia. So in honor of being with us and singing with us, and the whole message today is about dancing, like with reckless abandon. Dance, sing, have fun. We've invited Tuvia to come forward, and we're going to sing for you, the group that's here. The sun will come out tomorrow. So enjoy this song. Ready? Come on, I'll trade places with you. You're not going to sing? Ray's not going to sing.
Come on, Ray.
Come on, Ray.
The sun is not coming out right now.
Yeah.
You know, just as certain as the sun rises every day, we are coming to the end of the pandemic, and we are reminded that there is always hope.
Yes.
The sun will come out tomorrow, bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow, there's a way that always ends the sorrow till there's sun. When the sun comes a day that's gray and lonely, I pick up my chin and grin and say, oh, it will come out tomorrow, so you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Come what day, tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you, tomorrow, you're always a day away. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you, tomorrow, you're always a day away. You're always a day away.
Okay, how was that for you? If we didn't have fun then, we ain't gonna have fun. So you'll understand why we did this when you watch Reverend Elizabeth's message today. Her message is giving us permission to dance and have fun, especially as we go forward in our Sunday business meeting that will happen at noon today. So I'm hoping you're watching this recording before noon, so you'll join us at noon. But listen to her message. It really is about how we do a dance with one another. It's not about making anybody wrong. It's about self-expression. It's about having some fun. How we're going to create and be with the boring stuff of business and plan for our future. There's so much energy and so much fun. I invite you to listen to her message and again, join us for the noon meeting. Breathe. Thank you.
In 1987, Susanna Clark and Richard Lee composed a song called Come From the Heart. It was a country song. It's now classic. The lyrics went a little like this. You've got to sing like you don't need the money, love, like you'll never be heard. You've got to dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching. It's gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. You may have heard this song before, and since that time, the lyrics have been rewritten and reshaped time and time again. Supposed origin has been attributed to everyone from Mark Twain to Buddhist monks. Whether you've found this bit of wisdom, dance like no one is watching, on a cross-stitch sampler, a pillow, a journal cover, or your local country music station, it's a quote that catches the attention. It seems so true at the heart. Oh yes, we say, dance like no one is watching. I do worry what people will think of me when I let go. It keeps me from doing so many things I would love, sometimes even from becoming the person I wish I could be. The idea there is that being yourself is easier when there's no one around, when you don't feel judged or under the pressure of having to do things right. The idea is that our hearts are the most connected, all alone. Perhaps, as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, alone to look at the stars. Or, as Henry David Thoreau thought, out in the woods where it's easier to be yourself, to ponder deeply. And sometimes this is the case. Sometimes we go out alone and we feel suddenly the immense connection of the universe in places where there is no one and nothing between ourselves and our freely understood sense of joy, of awe. But that isn't all of it. That isn't quite how things work in a covenanted community like a congregation, anyhow. We are not here to judge. Here in a community of faith, we have the ability and the responsibility to create a place in which we are supported. Now, no judgment doesn't mean any behavior goes or that there's a lack of responsiveness. This is a supporting discernment. Our third principle is to promote acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth. It is meant to shape us into a denomination made up of autonomous congregations where we don't feel under pressure, but emboldened and supported to become better, to try harder than we might alone. In a community of covenant, a community where we agree on ways of being together for mutual support and encouragement, it's like Margaret Fuller, another contemporary, a friend of Emerson and Thoreau, yet a woman, and perhaps more aware of community ties, wrote, "Society is made for people. No institution can be good which does not tend to improve the individual." Fuller was right. We become better in community with others, as a good community is one that encourages our growth, encourages us to deepen, to try harder, to become a little more flexible and responsive. So I encourage you to join me for a moment as we take a small journey of meditation. This is a moving meditation. For those who are joining us in person, or those who have someone in the house with you, if you are online, who might be willing to do along with us, go ahead and look around you. Wherever you are, see if you can find someone, an individual, a few people who you can connect with using your eyes. If there's no one there with you in person, go ahead and close your eyes. Imagine people from the fellowship or friends who you know love and care for you in that way that makes you better and more yourself when you are with them. That's the feeling I want us to bring into that space. That feeling of being centered in ourselves and open-hearted, because the people we are with are going to care and love and laugh with us, even if we are imperfect and off balance and a little silly. So now in this space, I'm going to encourage you, if you want to bring your whole body up out of your chair, if you feel ready and able, or if you just want to bring your arms up a little bit, or put them on your thighs so you can sway your torso. Whatever feels, as the sociocratic method sometimes says, good enough for now and safe enough to try. So just let yourself find a body movement. Let yourself flow back and forth, whether it's with arms or your torso or your whole body. Let yourself see who is around you. Perhaps use them to find a bit to move in time. Find your patterns. Get into a little bit of a groove. I encourage you to notice what begins to happen in that space as you continue to move, as you continue to notice those around you, whether real or imagined. You might start thinking about your own movements. You might put a little pop into what you are doing, something that makes you both smile. Or you might see a movement that's harder or easier for someone else. You might change something about your own pace or your own movements so that you can mirror one another better and more fully. This is the kind of dancing where everyone is watching. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and bring yourself to a stillness. It's not the kind of dancing where you're inhibited by what others might think, but it is a little less free because it's caring dancing. It's communicative dancing. It's compassionate. It's the kind of dance that looks to be loving and joyful and in tune, in sync, in time with one another. This physical meditation is a metaphor, somewhat, for how we shape and are shaped by our congregations, the communities with which we surround ourselves in real and meaningful ways. Instead of finding a path all on our own towards spiritual growth, making up the dance from scratch, a community might give you some moves. They can recommend a book, invite us to discussion group, inspire us to take a class, accompany us on a hike, hand over a tissue when we cry. Perhaps spark a revelation that was once painfully blocked within us. For in a caring community, we are not constricted by observation, but accompanied so that we feel able to open wider, so that our impetus for change does come from the heart, just the way the song said. As a community, we continue to be bold and courageous together. As a community, you spark one another's imagination. And as you approach the annual meeting this week, it is my hope that you will engage in the process together as a form of shared play. The process matters. Like children in a dance class together, what is important is not simply that the dance gets done, that the children play their parts, but that all of those participating have a good time together in the process. So in your meeting, when one person begins to dance, to speak their truth, observe them. See if you're able to make some mirroring movements. Give feedback about what might work for everyone, might have to shift in community. When you dance, when you begin to speak, let your movements be in time and in tune. Watch for feedback for those around you, helping the community to stretch joyfully further, not forcing a movement that others cannot sustain. Remember, congregational business, like this month's theme, is play. Play is all that we do to practice being human together joyfully. It is a dance we do, the dance of life calling to life, stretching and growing and becoming flexible as you learn how to bend your paths together, how to bend yourselves to reach for one another. We name the individual in our 7 sources first. In the words of Madeleine L'Engle, it is so that they might know themselves as part of the dance of creation. L'Engle writes, "Bee, butterfly, and behemoth, bee, galaxy, and grasshopper, star, and sparrow. You matter, you are, be." Each individual, each item, each iota of life is part of the glory of all that is and all that is possible. We name the individual, therefore, but we do not stop with the individual being. In L'Engle's book, A Wind in the Door, from which this poem came today, the core problem is that the farandole, the tiny and, as she describes them, mouse creatures, which root, turning into tree-like structures as adults, whose tiny swaying dance makes the mitochondria inside every person function. These farandole have ceased to notice that they are a part of something greater. When they choose to remain immature and free to dance through refusal to root in a community of adults, the mitochondria cannot function. It begins to die and the whole human body begins to sicken. L'Engle's point is well taken. It is a striking crossover between fairy tale and science fiction. And she uses metaphor. We are the farandole. We are those asked to believe in something greater than ourselves. That the whole earth is a system, sometimes called Gaia, a network of communities, and each community's health creates or destroys conditions for life and thriving for everyone. Madeleine L'Engle admonishes that joining the community dance of the mature, being responsive, and becoming therefore part of the song of all existence is a new form of collective liberation. In this song of all existence, we become more fully known, more fully ourselves, because we are rooted in community and see ourselves through the love reflected in one another's attentive gaze, thus named and known. We join full-throated in song. We join full-bodied in the dance, where she asks us to sing for the glory of the living and the loving, the flame of creation. Sing with us, dance with us, be with us. Thus known, thus named, thus given and receiving one another's awareness in this community space, may you, too, become part of the dance of all creation. Become part of the dance of life which creates, which offers such creative choice to each and all together. As part of the community of dancers, literal and metaphorical, in this space, in this congregation, may you engage with all that is possible, and even with that seems beyond possible, locked in the imagination until we find a way beyond today's barriers. I hope that you will dance like everyone is watching, that you will join this community and connect with one another in joy and laughter, sing together the songs of the Spirit, the songs which bring us together, and love one another into being, as you create together the future you all dream of, simply by believing in it. The process of change has already become. It has already begun. Blessed be. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Elizabeth. By the way, I had no idea you had such a lovely voice. Thank you for sharing that with us, and thank you for your message. And I promise we will do our best to have some fun at our business meeting and create a wonderful future for ourselves. So thank you, thank you, thank you. At this time, we're going to talk about our monthly offering. And May and June, we are honoring the existence of the Friends of Florence. It's commonly known as the Cancer Van. And I thank you so much for people who have been sending contributions to share with them. It really means a lot. The money you provide goes towards gas and maintenance of that van because everybody else is volunteers. And the people who ride the van really need transportation and community, and it's a wonderful thing to support. We hope to have maybe a video come soon so you can actually see the van in action.
Oh, good.
So two of you is going to maybe get out there and do an interview. Our own
Great.
Kathy Johnson is one of the drivers, as well as somebody else. I can't think of somebody else. But anyway, we're going to try to give you a little first-hand glimpse of that van so you can see for yourself. So the point is, you are welcome to make a contribution to the Cancer Van. You can send a check payable to FOOF and just put in the memo, community partner, and we'll make sure that they get that money. You can also continue to contribute to our fellowship. We sure could use that financial support as well. And either way, you can send us a check to P.O. Box 2502, Florence 97439. There's also a donate button on our website. You can click on that, and through PayPal, you can use your credit card and make a contribution as that is available as well. And many people are doing that now. They're actually doing automatic payments, which is really, really nice. It makes it easy, I think, on everybody. So if you're home and you're available and here, please, I ask that you repeat after me. Divine love through me.
Divine love through me.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
And all that I give.
All that I give.
And all that I receive.
All that I receive.
I am prosperous now.
I am prosperous now.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Thank you, everybody. I invite Rhea to come back up. We're going to extinguish the light in our chalice as you extinguish your flame at home. These words are titled Blessed by Our Connections by Susan Carlson. We leave blessed by our connections to one another, to the spirit of life. Walk lightly as you see the life that is below your feet. Spread your arms as if you had wings and could dance through the air. Feel the joy of the breath in your lungs and the fire in your heart. Live to love and be a blessing to this earth. Before we conclude with our peace song, Reverend Elizabeth asked that I share these words by Alice Walker, titled, "The World Has Changed." The world has changed. Wake up and smell the possibility. The world has changed. It did not change without your prayers, without your faith, without your determination to believe in liberation and kindness, without your dancing through the years that had no beat. The world has changed. It did not change without your numbers, your fierce love of self and cosmos. It did not change without your strength. The world has changed. Wake up. Give yourself the gift of a new day. The world has changed. This does not mean you were never hurt. The world has changed. Rise. Yes, and shine. Resist the siren call of disbelief. The world has changed. Don't let yourself remain asleep to it. I invite everybody who's here today. We're going to be singing our peace song. Tubi is going to lead us through that. Sing it at home as if everybody or nobody is watching. Enjoy. Come forward, Tubi. Are you going to stand back here? Or are you going to stand right there? All right. What's that?
So I don't have to wear the mask.
You want to come back here?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to sing our peace song. We may even get Ray to sing along, but not on camera. Ray, you going to sing? Can you stand up?
Ray
at
said
least?
he was going to sing,
Come on,
so.
don't want to.
So he's-
All right, yeah,
he's very shy.
all right, peace song. With me on Zoom. Take care.